Hello and welcome to Catalyze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter. I'm an Ableton Certified Trainer. And for today's quick tip, I want to take a look at how you can convert an audio clip into MIDI so you can start building some ideas around it. And for this example, we're going to take a look at a beatboxing clip and convert it into an actual drum beat. I myself am not a great beatboxer, so I outsourced this to a friend of mine who actually is pretty good. So he just recorded this on his phone, so the audio quality is not great, but we're going to take this concept and, like I said, convert it into MIDI and play around with it a little bit. So to start off, we need to warp the clip to make sure everything is on time. So I'm just going to find like a 1 or 2 bar loop that I think will work that we can actually convert to MIDI. So let's zoom in here and just play it around here and see what happens. So I like this area around here. There's a downbeat right around here. Let's listen to it one more time from here. So right starting here to right there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit set 111 here on that downbeat. That's going to take the 1 of my grid and line it up with that downbeat. And then the next downbeat, I believe it is this right here. Let's take a listen one more time and just to make sure. Right there. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to click and drag this over to the second bar. And then you can see the transients and the timing is going to fit in a lot better. And we can just loop this one area. I could do this for multiple bars if I really wanted to though. I'm also going to take a look here and we can see the segment BPM changes to about 98 BPM. So I'm going to change my global tempo also down to about 98 BPM. And this should sound pretty good and should loop pretty well. If you're dealing with like a pre-made loop, you don't need to do this. They're already set up like this. This is specifically because this is just a recording and I had no idea what tempo he was actually beatboxing at. So now that I've done that, all I need to do is right click on this and hit convert drums to new MIDI track. And what this is going to do is it's going to look at the transient information for timing, the volume information for velocity, and the pitch information to determine which drum sound it should be playing at any given time. So I'm going to hit convert drums to new MIDI track. It's going to create an entirely new MIDI track for us with just a generic like 606 drum rack that we will be replacing in just a minute. And it's going to give us a MIDI clip that's going to try to emulate that drum beat. So here's the original beatbox. And then here's the new beat. So it did a mostly good job, and this is pretty common when you do audio to MIDI. It's just an algorithm, so it's guessing the best it can, and it missed a hi-hat and a kick drum over here, and added an extra kick drum over here that doesn't need to be there. So let's just take this guy and move it over here, and we can just take one of these clips, or these notes, and toss it in here, and this should be a little bit more accurate. And again, this is pretty common, unless the material is very, very clear, sometimes it will make mistakes and add notes where they shouldn't be, and remove the notes where there should be some notes. So let's take a listen to it now and see how it sounds. And we can layer it together with the drum beat. It actually fits together pretty well and sounds pretty good. But like I said, it gives us a generic drum rack, and I'm not really into that. I want to actually just use my own drum racks. So I'm going to grab a drum rack that I actually like and replace that, and hopefully this will sound a lot better now. So it sounds like that, which sounds a lot cooler. And of course, I could just keep swapping out drum racks till I find one that I really like, or I could replace my drum sounds one at a time. On top of that, I'm not going to quantize this because part of the whole reason that I extracted this MIDI information out of the audio clip is I wanted the humanness of that performance. I wanted that kind of like little bit of off time. That's actually what's going to make it sound better to me than having everything be overly quantized. But of course, I could add in extra notes if I wanted them. I could move them around. I could replace things as needed. But now I have a pretty cool drum beat that I could either layer with the original beatbox or without it. So that's basically it. This works for pretty much any audio. I'm using it for drums here specifically, but you could do this with vocals or a guitar loop or something like that. Keep in mind that the simpler and more straightforward the clip is, the more likely the algorithm is to actually extract that information correctly. But try it out for yourself, see if it makes a difference. It's a great way to get a little bit more out of your samples, especially if you're working with like sample library samples. Or to take something that's very acoustic like this into like a more kind of like synthetic sound, which can be really interesting. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more videos like this coming out real soon. On top of that, feel free to check out the website catalyzeacademy.com for more information about what we do in terms of classes and workshops and things like that. On top of that, if you have ideas for topics you'd like to see me present on in the future, feel free to leave those in the comment sections below, and I will try to do those as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.